So this is one women's group, this is another women's group, bracelets and earrings, another women's group, baskets, another women's group. So it's just a way of showing, our priority is to sell what is made by our women's groups. Our second priority is, like the cards and the things here, they have been donated by visitors who've come, or volunteers have gone home. They give us 100% of them, so all the money goes towards the project. Right. Then after that, say things like the book sales, they donate a percentage. But we'd rather, for us, the important things are the women's group things. Our women's groups don't just all do things to sell. We have one group where we've National Milling very kindly donated an oven. They have set up a bakery. Their village is about a 4-hour walk from the nearest town. So somebody was kind of getting up at 4 in the morning and cycling, buying the 24 loaves of bread, not to feed the elephant, bringing it back down and selling. And now they're baking in the village. They're making $150 a month. Every month, in an area where there's a lot of human-elephant conflict. So now we're giving them a reason. Without us, they wouldn't have the oven. So without elephants, they wouldn't be earning $150. So now they're like, what else can we do? So we're now trying to get another oven for another village. A community next to them, they had women dying, having babies in the 21st century for no real reason. It wasn't a complicated, it was just they didn't have anyone with any experience. There was no water, no power. With the help of the German embassy, we built a mother's shelter. There are 6 beds, clean bedding. We put a solar water pump, solar power. We put a borehole, and there's a clinical assistant employed. In the 5.5 years since it was built, we've had over 700 babies born, no loss of life. Wow. That's how you save elephants. Because now those people, it's like, wow, this has made a big difference. We're sitting there looking at what the issue is. Where the release facility is down near Lake Itez, huge fishing area. The fish are in a situation where you have to have a license to fish. So you go here to get your piece of paper, but you have to go over here, a kilometre or 2 kilometres away, to pay, and then here to get it stamped. And it was like, so we have meetings with the district commissioner, with the authorities, Ministry of Fisheries. Can we make this easier? If you want the fishermen to get licenses, make it simple. Put the stamping and the paying and the paper in the same place. Or can we provide a way of doing it? We went out on the lake with them and we showed them how to pull all the old fishing net out of the lake because it's pollution. We told them why you shouldn't fish with a mosquito net. I know of one charity that came in 8 years ago into Sesheki, down in the Western Province, and they were telling everybody, look, we've given out 500 mosquito nets. We've really helped with malaria. Oh my God! Now what they helped with was poisoning the Zambezi River because everybody went fishing with their new nets, which were infused with permethrin to kill mosquitoes. So now we've got a kilometre of Zambezi River poisoned, and then all the little baby fish are also fished out. So now next year, no fish. So we do lessons in the hot. This is it. As I say, elephants are cute. Teaching about the size of hole in a fishing net is not cute, but really important because the little fish have got to get away. Otherwise, next year there's no big fish. And this is the kind of thing that we do with our community outreach programs in the state. Again, it's environmental education. It's your baby. We had a girl from one of the international schools came on a deck talk, and she was so moved. And this is when we have Musalole here. Most of our elephants, as you'll have seen, are named after either where they come from, or something relating to their situation, like strong heart, because she had to have a strong heart because her mother was. Musalole and Mulisani are our 2 exceptions. Musalole is named after WPO Sitali Musalole, who was a DMPW wildlife officer who was shot dead trying to stop his mother being poached. We lost 2 wildlife police officers that day. Wow. We also lost Musalole's mother, and 24 hours later, National Parks shot the poacher. 3 human lives, 1 adult elephant for what? For nothing. The same as your teeth. Pull your teeth out, put them on the wall if you want to look at ivory on a wall, You want to make a chess set? Make a small one. So sitting there, so this lady, she was about 15 at the time. This was her school project, and it's amazing. So we've got the river, all the animals coming down, the reality of the mother being killed, and that is how you take the tusks out of an elephant. You cut the front of its face off with an axe. Wow. You don't do a surgical incision and gently remove them. they literally will take an axe, and the elephant might not even be dead. The elephant will just be down, and they will hack it in. And then obviously the wildlife police officer, she wrote this amazing poem, and we've left it here because it does, it attracts attention. It allows people to talk about it, and so we're very grateful to her. I just think her name should be on the there we go, Zaina. So she was in the and we've had it ever since.
She's the one that did that poem.
Yeah, and she did the whole thing.
Okay.
Made the whole thing, and she did a whole thing about animal cruelty, how humans exploit animals, and why it's not necessary. And this was the focus of her project. So, and then we try and keep, so we've got a timeline at the top of all the elephants, and we have to move them all along. The first one here is the story of a rescue. At the end of the rescue, they end up at Lilai Elephant Nursery. Then we have the story of a translocation. At the end of a translocation, they're at Kafui Release Facility. The next stage from there will be in the wild. And that's where we end up here with Chamalandu having her first baby. He is, I tell you, the elephant's cute, but I've got to tell you, this little one, oh my word. I've got up-to-date photos somewhere, but he is the hugest elephant.
So the name is
Mutanzi David, and this is firstborn in Ela. And the David is for David Shepherd, because David Shepherd, the wildlife artist, is the one who worked with our chief executive officer to form Game Rangers. So his support over the last 11 years is how we are where we are. So it's to honour him.
Then going a bit back in time, how did you find yourself working with animals, particularly wildlife?
Okay, so I started at 11 years old. I wrote to my local vet in the UK and I told him, I want to be a vet, you need to give me a job. I was very lucky. He said, okay. So I started at a very young age working just in a vet store, so it was mostly cats and dogs. But then as I got a little bit older, I helped him with horses, cattle, sheep, goats. By the age of 16, I was already doing a lot of veterinary nursing. I then went to agricultural college where I expanded my knowledge of sort of livestock. I then became a qualified veterinary nurse. Long story short, I went into management and ended up owning a company that sold computer systems to vets. But I really, really wanted to get back to working with animals. And I wanted to take what I'd learned about animals into wildlife conservation. I was volunteering with the David Shepherd Wildlife Foundation in the UK, just stuffing mail shots for them, manning exhibition stalls at events. And I got discussing, and they said they had a project in Zambia that had elephants. Maybe I could volunteer there. So in June 2011, I came and did a 1-month volunteer. And I've pretty much been working with and for GRI ever since.
Considering that background you've talked about, could you just give some advice to all of us out here, parents especially? What do you say to kids that show a passion, an affection, an attraction to animals at an early age?
I think anyone who's got any wish to work with wildlife, with conservation, is that it's like you do need some determination. But my advice to anybody is get in touch with any local organisations and offer to volunteer. Because a lot of these organisations aren't maintained by any government funds. They rely on fundraising, saying that can't necessarily afford to pay full-time jobs, but everybody can do something to help. I started just working two hours an evening, mopping the floors in a veterinary surgery. And then, so I would say get out there, go and talk to people. We have a volunteer program here at Game Rangers, and we're hoping to expand that so we get a lot more Zambian volunteers in the coming years. Offer yourself. We're now working with UNZA, for example, taking some of their students on placements, working with the vet school, trying to think. So get out there, make it clear what you feel you have to give, and then show it by, say, volunteering, offering yourself, and turning up on time. Doing the job, and just showing people what you can do, and never give up.
I'm from an environmental education background, so it's inevitable that I ask this question. You're into wildlife as Game Rangers International. A lot of people want to put the wildlife care as the #1 priority, and environmental education as the little brother that comes along to support what the big brother is doing. What do you feel the role of environmental education is in an institution like Game Rangers International?
I think it's an enormous part, and you're absolutely right. People around the world, not just other people around the world, want to look after the animals, whether it's the elephant, whether it's a small lion cub, or they see a panda. Oh, it's so beautiful, I want to help it. And they want to pour their money into helping that. When I say, we can save an elephant, that's fine, we can do that. But if when we release that elephant back into the wild, it is facing all the problems that had its mother killed, then have we really done the best thing?
No.
So Game Rangers International, I would say there are three parts to it: wildlife rescue, resource protection, and community outreach and education.
Okay.
Those second two are probably more important. If you imagine a pyramid with the elephants sitting at the top of the pyramid, because they are our flagship animal, we have a serious problem. Elephants are being killed 1 every 26 minutes.
Wow.
But a female elephant can only have 1 baby every 5 years. So you see, there is an issue there. But we need to look after the environment that they come from. So environmental education, whether it's firefighting, the amount of burning, 80% of Kafue National Park burns every year because of, sometimes it's a misbelief that fire does something, sometimes it's poachers burning so they don't come across animals they don't want to see, maybe fishermen burn to try and protect themselves from lions coming at night. There's many reasons, but we need to educate, environmental education. We need then to look at the law enforcement side, environmental education, so we talk to people about the danger of a snare. They might only be wanting to snare a small guinea fowl and thinking they are doing no harm. But when an elephant gets its trunk caught in that snare, it's a very big problem. Environmental education. Then community. These communities are living in areas where the elephants are nothing but a source of trouble and a source of food. And when you have nothing and you haven't got anything to feed your children with, who is anybody else to say you shouldn't kill something or you shouldn't chop a tree down and burn charcoal?
Exactly.
So what Game Rangers is doing is working with those communities. How can we sort those problems? You need fuel. How can we help you look at sustainable charcoal perhaps, or alternatives to charcoal? You need to eat. How can we help with that? So there are at least 10 women's groups that Game Rangers have set up that are now providing up to 150 women with a regular source of income.
Wonderful.
So they're not reduced to going out and helping poachers for cash. But it's all environmental education. And I think, as I say, community outreach, resource protection, they are underlying the elephant rescue.
Okay.
And we need to really concentrate on them. So I'm delighted to be sitting here talking to you because I know that your organisation is trying to do exactly the same thing as we are. So we're very happy to collaborate with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers, for joining us on this exciting journey with Game Rangers International. Hope you had a wonderful time on reviewing the secret life of elephants. Make sure you join us on our next episode.